Hare Krishna. Om Ajnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana-shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah. Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayyam Dadati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yutapadkamlam Shri Gurum Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Satam Sajivam साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधाकृष्णपादान् सागणललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितंश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धु दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधाकान्त नमोऽस्तु ते तप्तकाञ्चना गौराङ्गी राधे वृन्दावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधरा श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंदा नमो
हरे
विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमति भक्ति वेदांता स्वामीति नामिने नमस्ते सरस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारणे मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे श्रीगुरुं दीनतारणं परमानन्दमाधवं श्रीकृष्णचैतन्य ईश्वरम्. Let me recite some verses in glorification of Lord Ram. I don't have it. Let me see. So they go like this. माता रामो मत्पिता रामचन्द्र स्वामी रामो मत्सखा रामचन्द्र सर्वस्वं मे रामचन्द्रो दयालु नान्यं जाने नैव जाने न जाने लोकाभिरामं रणरङ्गधीरं राजीवनेत्रं रघुवंशनाथं कारुण्यरूपं करुणाकरन्तं श्रीरामचन्द्रं शरणं प्रपद्ये आपदां हर्तारं दातारं सर्वसम्पदां लोकाभिरामं श्रीरामं भूयो भूयो नमाम्यहम् रमन्ते योगिनो नन्ते सत्यानन्दे चितात्मनि इति रामापदेनासौ परं ब्रह्म विधीयते हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, anyone wants to recite this verse? We'll just lead
I
and
can.
follow. Yes, Madhu.
बद्धो वद बद्धो वदौ रघु नहीं बद्धो वदौ रघुपतेर्विधा विविधारि कूटे
बद्धो बोधतौ रघुपतिर्विविधाद्रिकूटै
ते तुम कपीन्द्र करकंपितभूरहाङ्ग्रे
सेतुं कपीन्द्रकरकम्पितभूरुहाङ्गै
सुग्रीवनीलहनुमत् परमुख्यरनिके
सुग्रीवनीलहनुमत्प्रमुखैरनिखैर्
लंकां विभीषण दृशविषाद अग्रदग्धाम्
लङ्कां विभीषणदृशा विशदग्रदग्धाम्.
Shukdev Goswami said, after constructing a bridge over the ocean by throwing into the water the peaks of the mountains, whose trees and other vegetations had been shaken by the hands of great monkeys, Lord Ramchandra went to Lanka to release Sita Devi from the clutches of Ravana. With the direction and help of Vibhishan, Ravana's brother, the Lord, along with the monkeys' soldiers, headed by Sugriva, Neela, and Hanuman, entered Ravana's kingdom, Lanka. which had previously been burnt by Hanuman. So now this is about how they constructed the bridge. And now Lord Ram, along with Sugriv, who's heading all the Vanar Sena, and Vibhishan and all other monkey soldiers, with Neel and Hanuman, they are now heading to Lanka to get the Sita Mata back. Yeah, Mataji.
So ये तो स्ट्रेट फॉरवर्ड है, राइट? काफी कुछ कवर हो गया इसमें. राम सेतु भी बन गया, and they're saying all the monkeys and everybody joined together to help to serve Lord Ram in getting Mother Sita back. ठीक है. Prabhuji, you want to share anything from this?
No, Mataji, thank you.
Okay. Anyone wants to read the next one? I can read this one. Sava Narendra Balarutta Vihara Koshta. Sava Narendra Balarutta Vihara Koshta. Sridwar Gopura Sado Valabhi Vitanka. Sridwar Gopura Sado Valabhi Vitanka. निर्भज्यमानधिषणा ध्वज हेमकुम्भा. निर्भज्यमानधिषणा ध्वज हेमकुम्भा. शृङ्गाटका गजकुलेर्रदिनीव घूर्णा. शृङ्गाटका गजकुलेर्हृदनीव घूर्णा. After entering Lanka, the monkey soldiers, led by chiefs like Sugriv, Neel, and Hanuman, occupied all the sporting houses, granaries, treasuries, palace doorways, city gates, assembly houses, palace frontages, and even the resting houses of the pigeons. When the city's platforms, flags, and golden water pots on its domes were all destroyed, the entire city of Lanka appeared like a river disturbed by a herd of elephants. Very bold. It's a very nice scene. So all the monkey soldiers have infiltrated into the golden Lanka, and their chiefs are Sugriv, Neel, and Hanuman. And Amoglila Prabhu in his Ramkatha, he was describing that you cannot even count the number of monkeys. Actually, Valmiki Ramayan has given a number. I don't know the number because it is in a very different unit that we don't use anymore. And the number is astonishing. I mean, we cannot even imagine. I say crores mein. So it is beyond our understanding, our perception. How can there be so many monkeys? And how did they all cross that Ram Setu to get to Lanka? So there were so many monkeys. So imagine, and this verse is describing how they were occupying so many different areas of the cities. And remember that Hanumanji, when he had gone to find Mother Sita, he's described as category 1 servant. Category 1 servant मतलब जो जितना काम बोला गया है उतना तो करते ही हैं, और उससे भी ज्यादा कि जो भगवान की सेवा में जो भी और भी क्या भगवान को प्लीज करेगा वो काम भी करके आते हैं. So when he had gone there, again Amoglila Prabhu was describing कि चलो मदर सीता को फाइंड किया, ठीक है, एक काम, लेकिन उसके बाद लंका भी जला दी, ठीक है, तो वीक भी कर दिया लंका को और रावण के कॉन्फिडेंस को, और उसको मार भी दिया बहुत सारे लोगों को, है ना. फिर वहां का पूरा he surveyed the whole Lanka. When he was jumping from house to house, he surveyed the whole Lanka कि कहाँ पे क्या है. So in this verse you can see that they all knew कि कहाँ पे क्या है, सारी जगह उन्होंने ऑक्यूपाई कर ली, सारे doorways, gates, treasuries, granaries, sporting houses, assembly houses, कितनी सारी, even the resting houses of the pigeons, वो भी सारे ऑक्यूपाई कर लिए. So this verse is saying entire city of Lanka looked like a river disturbed by a herd of elephants. कि एक रिवर में जैसे बहुत सारे एलिफेंट्स खेलने आ गए हैं, स्पोर्टिंग करने आ गए हैं, तो खेल रहे हैं वहां पे, और सारी रिवर डिस्टर्ब हो रही है इसका पानी. तो ऐसे लंका भी पूरी वो डिस्टर्ब कर दी उन्होंने. So they were all destroyed. सब चीजें they were destroying. Okay, so nice scene to imagine. Okay, if anybody wants to share, please share. ठीक है, फिर आगे चलते हैं. Anybody wants to read this one? Recite and read.
I can recite. रक्षापतिस्तदवलोक्य निकुम्भकुम्भा
रक्षापति तदवलोक्य
रक्षापतिस्तदवलोक्य
निकुम्भकुम्भा
निकुम्भकुम्भा
धूम्राक्षधूर्मुखसुरान्तकनार नर अन्तकादीन्
धूमराक्ष दुर्मुखसुरान्तकनरान्तकादिन्
पुत्रं प्रहस्तमतिकाय विकम्पनादीन्
पुत्रं प्रहस्तमतिकाय विकम्पनादिन्
सर्वानुगान् समहिनोद् अथ कुम्भकर्णम्
सर्वानुगान् समहिनोदथ कुम्भकर्णम्.
Translation. When Ravan, the master of the Rakshasas, saw the disturbances created by the monkey soldiers, he called for Nikumbha, Kumbha, Dhumraksha, Durmukha, Surantaka, Narantaka, and other Rakshasas, and also his son Indrajit. Thereafter, he called for Prahasta, Atikaya, Vikampana, and finally Kumbhakarna. Then he induced all his followers to fight against the enemies. So basically, Vinasha Kale Viprita Buddhi is a classic example of Ravan. Every opportunity he had to back off from the endeavors he was doing to exploit Mother Sita, or trying to exploit Mother Sita and kill Lord Ram, and all the attempts were actually backfiring, but still he was not able to understand and he didn't want to give up. So this is the reason he's calling so many of these demons, Rakshasas. Saw the disturbances created by the monkey soldiers, he called for all these different people and he induced all of his followers to fight against the enemies. So I think we can keep reading. Don't have anything else.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Anyone else wants to recite and read?
I can read, Mataji.
Yes.
Tamya tudhana pritanam ashishulachapa
तां यातु दानप्रतनाम् असिशूलचापा
pra prasarshti sorry prasarshti shakti shat mo Niman, can you read beta?
Tamyadutan dhanapratanamas asishulachapa
तां यातु दानप्रतनाम् असिशूलचापा
prashasti shakti sharatomara khadgadurgam
प्रासर्ष्टिशक्तिशरतो मरखड्गदुर्गाम्
sugriva lakshmana marutsuta
सुग्रीव लक्ष्मण मरुत्सुतगन्धमादा
Nilan gadarkshapanasad Hibiranvitogat
नीलाङ्गदर्क्षपनसादिभिरन्वितोगा.
Translation. ये बेटा एक मिनट बच्चे Lord Ramacandra, surrounded by Lakshman and monkey soldiers like Sugriva, Hanuman, Gandhamada, Neela, Angada, Jambavan, and Panasa attacked the soldier of the Rakshasas, who were fully equipped with various invincible weapons like swords, lances, bows, prashas, rashtis, shakti arrow, khadgas, and tomaras. Okay, it's about their invincible different weapons the demons used. So now, Lord, with all the Lakshman and all the monkey soldiers, they are now fighting with the Rakshasas. That means Ravana's soldiers, actually. Yeah.
Yes. Different monkeys are, their names are given. So Marut Sutta is of course Hanuman. We know Neel, Angad is the son of Vali. Jambavan is a bear actually, है ना? जिन्होंने हनुमान को इंस्पायर किया था, लॉर्ड हनुमान को इंस्पायर किया था to jump. He had reminded him of his powers that he had received, benedictions and boons that he had from so many demigods, and he empowered him that you are the one who can do this, who can jump across the ocean. ये शक्ति बाण वही है जो कर्णा के पास था, जो उसको कर्णा ने लिया था इंद्रा से. शक्ति वेपन, शक्ति अस्त्र वो होता था ना. That was the one. But they had
वो भी
many.
था, ये पता नहीं वो different है, but that was also Shakti. But that was only one weapon given by Indra, which was to be used only one time, and then it's going to come back. But here it says Shakti arrows. So
कुछ और भी हो
to say.
सकता है.
But Indrajit ने जीता था इंद्रा को, so maybe he took all the Shakti weapons. Who knows? I'll be speculating if I say too much, but yeah.
Right. Okay.
हाँ, कुछ
Okay.
प्रभुपाद ने purport दिया है इसका, तो we
हाँ,
don't know.
परपोट है नहीं. नहीं, ये तो प्रभु जी मैंने परपोट खोला नहीं हुआ by the way, by chance.
I think है भी नहीं.
अच्छा.
मैं दूसरी में देख रहा था. Like I'm seeing next वाले का है, but all the others didn't have much.
ठीक है. Anyone, Hema Mataji, want to read? Are you available? Okay. Vidushi Mataji, Rekha Mataji, would you like to read?
Mataji, I'm driving
Okay.
back home.
Okay.
It's going to be very difficult.
We'll help you, Mataji, if you want to try.
Okay. Oh gosh. Okay.
तो ऐसा है. हाँ, please try. Please try.
हाँ, please.
जैसे अभी आप गा रहे थे. तेनी कपा रघुपते रविपत्य सर्वे. तीनों लाइन ऐसे ही बोलनी है, चारों लाइन.
Okay. तेने कपद रघुपति अभिपत्य सर्वे.
तेनी कपा रघुपते रविपत्य सर्वे.
द्वन्द्वत्वं वरुतम् इभापति रथ सब योधा.
द्वन्द्वं वरुथम् इभपति रथाश्वयोधये.
जाघवनुर द्रुमेर गिरि गरे सुवीर अंगाधे. Sorry.
दाद्या. जगनुर्द्रुमेर्गिरिगदे शुभिरङ्गदाद्या.
सीता विमर्शा हता मंगला रावणे सनाः.
सीता विमर्श हतमङ्गल रावणेशम्.
So translation: Angad and other commanders of the soldiers of Ramacandra faced the elephants, infantry, horses, and chariots of the enemy and hurried against them big trees, mountain peaks, clubs, and arrows. Thus the soldiers of Lord Ramacandra killed Ravana soldiers who had lost all good fortune because
Ravana had been condemned by the anger of Mother Sita.
You want to share something, Mataji?
No, but he had been warned several times by many great sages, even his relatives, his well-wishers. But like Prabhuji alluded earlier, that Vinash Kale Viparit Buddhi. And then on top of that, he was also, they lost all the strength to fight due to Mother Sita's anger. And Ma's anger is the worst in my life, at least. You don't want Ma to be angry on you, because then you have nobody to save you. That's again my speculation.
No,
Very
yes, Mataji. Very good. Very nice. And you recited wonderfully.
Thank you. You helped.
Thank you so much. So Mataji, आपने एक बहुत अच्छा point बोला that he had been warned many times by many people. This is very famous actually. That who all had warned Ravan कि माँ सीता को भगवान राम को वापस कर दो. कई लोगों ने बोला था. Like you said, his wife told him, Mandodari. His Nana, I believe, Nana told him. His Aradhya Bhagwan, Lord Shiva, told him. And and of course Hanuman, when he had come, Lord Hanuman had told him. And of course Vibhishan had told him. फिर एक बार की कहानी आती है, ये भी मैंने अमोघलीला प्रभु के उसमें सुनी है. So he went to Bali Maharaj for help. So Bali Maharaj कहते कि let me show you something. So Bali Maharaj took him to show him एक बड़ा सा ऐसे एक कुछ chariot type कुछ बड़ा सा कोई structure सा था. It looked like almost like a mountain. So उन्होंने कहा, can you guess what this is? So he said it's some kind of mountain, some kind of parvat. He said this used to be your Ravan, your कान का earring, your bali, your कान की earring होता था ये. When you were Hiranyaksh, when you were Hiranyaksh in a previous birth, this was your earring. And when Bhagwan Ram had come as Varahadev, he had beaten you up, defeated you, then your earring had fallen here, and this is that earring. Now, since then, Lord's power has not diminished at all, and it is infinite. And you have become so small that you think this is a big mountain in front of you. This used to be your earring. So you have become so small, and Lord is still infinite as he always is. तो इसीलिए मेरी राय ये है कि माँ सीता को भगवान राम को वापस कर दो. Bali Maharaj had also told him that. तो कितने लोगों ने, कितने well-wishers ने बोला था. इसलिए जब well-wishers कुछ advice करें, तो we should, they mean well for us. We should listen to them.
Wow. I did not know that Hiranyakashipu and Ravana were same. So
I don't know which one was which, but वो lecture में ऐसा बताया था कि हिरण्याक्ष ऐसा बोला था.
I see. Wow, that's something new. Thank you for sharing.
So anyways, ऐसा ये describe किया जाता है to just teach us a lesson कि कितने लोगों ने उनको ये सही बुद्धि देने की कोशिश की थी, लेकिन his discrimination, his judgment, his intelligence was lost because of his lust. And 10 सर होने के बाद भी कोई दिमाग उसने यूज नहीं किया. ऐसे 10 सर का क्या फायदा? इससे अच्छा तो एक सर में से दिमाग यूज करे, that is better. But he had 10 heads and yet did not use his discrimination, intelligence. विवेक बुद्धि नहीं थी. Prabhuji, you want to add anything?
No, Mataji, thank you. Wonderful. And it seems from some accounts, even Kumbhakaran had warned him after that.
Yeah, Kumbhakaran. When Kumbhakaran had been woken up, Kumbhakaran had warned him. Vibhishan has warned him. His wife has warned him. His Nana has warned him. एनिमी की साइड में आके हनुमान ने भी बोला था, मैं तो उस भगवान राम की वानर सेना का एक तुच्छ वानर हूँ, एक छोटा सा मंकी हूँ. ऐसे मेरे जैसे तो पता नहीं कितने हैं उनकी आर्मी में. तो अगर मैंने तुम्हारी लंका का ये हाल किया है, तो तुम्हारा क्या होगा जब सब लोग आएंगे यहाँ पे. That should have given him some hint.
And who was the son of Bali, who उसकी अंगद था ना, उसके पैर नहीं हिला पाए थे.
हाँ.
Could not even, nobody could do it, even Indrajit. But still, it didn't get him realization that I should back off. And Marich had also warned him before all of this. When he was plotting, कि Marich, you go and be the golden deer. So he said, अरे, I have already had arrow from Lord Ram previously. जब विश्वामित्र मुनि को वो करने गए थे, तब कौन था? Marich and Subhahu, right? And Subhahu was killed, and Marich was from one arrow only. He was thrown many yojanas away. So since then he had a post-traumatic disorder. कि र सुनते ही उसको डर लग जाता था, कहीं राम तो नहीं बोल रही है कहीं. So he was such a he was the first person who warned him because of his. But Raman, he was bent upon the fact that he wants to destroy himself. Of course, that's the pastime of Lord also, but that's a lesson for us.
Okay, and then go into the next one. Anyone wants to read this one?
I can recite, Mataji. Rakshapati swabal nashtimaveksha rushta.
Rakshapati swabalanashtimaveksha rushta.
Aruhya yanakamathabhisasar Ramam.
Aruhya yanakamathabhisasara Ramam.
Swasyandane dyumati matalinopanite.
Swasyandane dyumati matalinopanite.
Vibrajamana nishitai kshura rapre.
Vibrajamana
Translation. Thereafter, when Ravan, king of the Rakshasas, observed that his soldiers had been lost, he was extremely angry. Thus he mounted his airplane, which was decorated with flowers, and proceeded towards Lord Ramacandra, who sat on the effulgent chariot brought by Matali, the chariot driver of Indra. Then Ravan struck Lord Ramachandra with sharp arrows. So basically, he's mentioning, Srila Sukdev Goswami is sharing and mentioning about how Ravan, he mounted on his airplane. I guess it's a Pushpak Viman, but not mentioned as chariot. It's saying airplane here, so must be Pushpak only, which was decorated with flowers, and proceeded towards Lord Ramachandra, who sat in the effulgent chariot brought by Mathili. So this was also not an ordinary chariot. It was Indra's chariot, driven by Mathili. Then Ravan struck Lord Ramachandra with sharp arrows. So kind of self-explanatory. Anything any devotees would like to share? Mataji, you want to share something? Narangi Mataji.
No, Prabhuji. Matali is the chariot driver of Indra. Because he had controlled all the demigods. He had taken everything from different people. Actually, the Pushpak Viman was given or was stolen by him from Kuvera. And he had put all these demigods in his employment doing different things for him. राहु केतु को, इंद्र को, अग्निदेव को, सबको अपनी सेवा में अलग अलग काम में लगाया हुआ था for menial jobs in his kingdom, and he used to be very proud, calling himself Trilok Vijayi Ravan. तो इसीलिए देवी देवता ने they had besieged Lord Ram to appear and help them. Anyone wants to read the next one? Rakshita Mataji, you want to read?
I can read, Mataji. Mataji, कांता से एक अच्छा ओके यार रामस्तम आह पुरुषादि पुरीशयन्नः
रामस्तमाह पुरुषात् पुरुषा यन्ना
कान्ता समक्षम असता बृहता श्रवते
कान्ता समक्षमसता पहरिता श्ववते
त्यक्ता तृपस्य फलमद्य जुगुप्सिपस्य
त्यक्ता त्रपस्य फलमाद्यजुगुप्सितस्य
यच्छामि काल इव अलङ्घ्य वीर्य
यच्छामि कलैव कर्तुरलङ्घ्यवीर्य.
Lord Ramchandra said to Ravana, "You are the most abominable of the man-eaters. Indeed, you are like their stool. You resemble a dog, for as a dog steals eatables from the kitchen in the absence of the householder. In my absence, you kidnapped my wife Sita Devi. Therefore, as Yamaraj punishes sinful men, I shall also punish you. You are most abominable, sinful, and shameless. Today, therefore, I, whose attempt never fails, shall punish you." Okay, so the time has come. Yeah, yeah, Mataji, that's it. So, Lord Ramchandra is actually warning or telling him, reminding him of all the sins he did, and telling him that you are like that dog who steal the food from the kitchen in the absence of the owner, right? So like that you stole my wife. So now just to let you know that I am the one whose attempts never fails, and now I shall now punish you. Yes, Mataji, that's it.
Okay. Anyone wants to share anything? Okay, we'll keep going. Anyone wants to read this one? Okay, I can recite this. Evam kshipan dhanushi sanditam utsasarja. Evam kshipam dhanushi sanditam utsasarja. Banam savajramiv dridayam bibeda. Banam
बाणं
savajramiv
सवज्रमिव
tridayam
तद्धृदयं बिभेदा
bibeda. Sosrigvamandashamukhe nyapatadvimanan. Sosrigvaman
दशमुखैर्न्यपतद्विमानात्
दशमुखीर्न्यपतद्विमानान् दाहेति जल्पति जने सुकृति वरिक्ता दाहेति
धाहेति
जल्पति
जल्पतिजने
जने सुकृति
सुकृतिवरिक्तः
वरिक्ता. Translation. Huh? Nani se lo? After thus rebuking Ravan, Lord Ramacandra fixed an arrow to his bow aimed at Ravan and released the arrow, which pierced Ravan's heart like a thunderbolt. Upon seeing this, Ravana's followers raised a tumultuous sound, crying, "Alas, alas, what has happened? What has happened?" As Ravana, vomiting blood from his 10 mouths, fell from his airplane, just as a pious man falls to earth from the heavenly planets when the results of his pious activities are exhausted. So, so this is the end of Ravan. So Lord Ramchandra aimed his bow at Ravan's heart like a thunderbolt. It pierced his heart, and he started vomiting blood from all his 10 mouths. And all his followers started crying, "Alas, alas, what has happened?" And he fell from his Viman. He fell from his Viman, his airplane. And this is nice because, Bhagavatam always, even though this is a story going on, in Bhagavatam you get lessons in each verse. So Bhagavatam is giving this analogy that a pious man falls to the earth from the heaven when his pious activities are exhausted. So this is compared to Ravan falling from his airplane. So pious man, that we have our karmic, um, credits that we collect in our spiritual bank account. So sometimes we have these positive bank balance that takes us to heavenly planets to enjoy there for a certain time. But that enjoyment is limited. We know that. So in heavenly planets, you can only enjoy up to the time that those credits get exhausted. It's like you have some currency, and until you have that currency of pious activities, you can spend time in these places, in these heavenly planets. Once that currency gets exhausted, you have to come back. You have to fall down again. So similarly, just like those pious men fall down from heavenly planets once their positive karmic balance is finished, similarly, the Ravan also fell from. He was enjoying up till now. He had enjoyed this Sone ki Lanka, and he had enjoyed many women, and he had exploited many people, and had lorded over many of his followers. But now, coming face to face with Lord Ramachandra, he had exhausted all that, credits for enjoyment, and this was the end. And he fell down. Okay, I don't have anything else.
Prabhupada is quoting here the 9.21 Shine Punya Marte Lokam Vishanti Shloka. When the results of pious activities are exhausted, those who've enjoyed in heavenly planets fall to the earth. So Prabhupada is explaining and basically mentioning that how it is so dangerous what Ravana did. The exalted position of Lord Ram was there, so should should not, basically warning against offending great personalities. What to say of Supreme Personality Godhead, and how by bhakti one can actually, both pious and impious activities can go away. Sarvapadi vinirmuktam tatparatvena nirvalam. That verse Prabhupada is quoting here. So, if one is fixed in devotional service, is above the material platform. Then he's quoting Saguna Samati Tetan Brahma Bhuyai Kalpate. And then at last he's mentioning Ravan or those like him may be very powerful and opulent in the material world, but there is not a secure position, because after all they are bound by the results of their karma. Karmana Daiva Netrena. We should not forget that we are completely dependent on the laws of nature. So Ravan is completely controlled, and if he is acting in this way, that will actually cause him to suffer like this. So just warning, basically.
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, for sharing from the purport also.
Yeah, thank you.
We were reading Sri Ishopnishad. So, the first few verses talk about Isha. The first verse talks about Ishavasyam, but then other verses also talk about how one should not try to bend the laws of the nature. One should not try to exert so much lordship over the nature that we create disharmony. And this is what Ravan had done. He had created disharmony, because by controlling all these demigods, using them for his own enjoyment, in his own service, when they're meant to serve Lord, they're not meant for his service. So he had created this unnatural environment in Lanka. And so we are basically like mini Ravans with this enjoyership mentality, trying to enjoy others' property. He was also enjoying others' property when everything belongs to Lord. It's Isha Vasyam, everything belongs to Lord. everything is the property of Lord. And Ravan is just a very exaggerated example of breaking that Ishavasam principle, but we are all breaking that Ishavasam principle and creating disharmony in the environment on a daily basis, actually. So a lot of times when people read Ramayana, they are comparing themselves to Lord or to Bharat Maharaj or to Lakshman, and they are pointing fingers at them कि उन्होंने ये कर दिया, हम होते तो हम ऐसे नहीं करते. उनसे क्यों compare कर रहे हो अपने आप को? Compare yourself with Ravan, because that's who we are. People start pointing fingers at the at the Maryada Purushottam and his associates. No. We are mini Ravans here. So when we read these scriptures, we need to. इसी तरीके से जब नरसिंह लीला पढ़ते हैं तो सोचते हैं कि हम प्रहलाद जैसे हैं. नहीं, हमको हिरण्यकशिपु से कंपेयर करना है अपने आप को, क्योंकि that's who and to see that we don't do those offenses that he did and break all those rules and regulations. So first of all, you have to kill this demonic tendency, this demon-like tendency of creating disharmony, trying to acquire other people's property, exploit Lord's resources. So that's just one point that was coming to my mind about this. Okay, we'll keep moving. Anyone wants to read this next one? This is a short, so Bhagavad Gita style.
I can read Mataji now. I'm home.
Yes, Mataji.
Tatto nishkramaya lankaya.
Mataji, Bhagavad Gita style में जैसे आप करते हो ना?
Okay.
ततो निष्क्रम्य लंकाय ऐसे.
Tato nishkramaya lankaya.
ततो
Yatu-
निष्क्रम्य लंकाय
Yatu dhanya sahasra.
यातु धान्य सहस्रशः
Mandodarya samam tatra.
मन्दोदर्य समं तत्र
Prayudantya upadravan.
प्ररुदन्त्या उपाद्रवन्.
Translation. Thereafter, all women whose husbands had fallen in the battle, headed by Mandodri, the wife of Ravana, came out of Lanka. Continuously crying, they approached the dead bodies of Ravana and the other Rakshasas. So, these all the Rakshasas and Ravans had got killed in the battlefield, and now they were lamenting over their dead bodies. I guess it explains itself.
Yes, Mataji. I don't have anything to add. Sure. Prabhuji or other devotees, anything to add here? Or Prabhuji, if you're reading the purport, anything to add?
No purport, Mataji. Here, no purport.
Only thing that comes to mind is when you follow either by will or sometimes because of your limitations. When you follow the wrong person and their wrongdoings, you also cannot remain untouched. So अगर कोई पाप करता है तो उसका साथ दोगे तो although God does not want to punish innocent, but अगर आपने गलत का साथ चुना है तो आपको भी उसके repercussions के लिए ready रहना पड़ता है. So in this sense right here, जब उनके भी पतियों की death हुई, when like trying to fight the war against the righteousness, a wrong party, लेकिन उनको भी बहुत बहुत दुख और बहुत बहुत कठिनाइयों का सामना करना पड़ा, all because of their chosen party. जैसे विभीषण जी चले गए थे क्योंकि उन्हें निकाला गया था, लेकिन इनकी भी जो soldiers तो soldier ही है. I mean, doesn't matter which side of the army. They'll, I feel sad for them also, क्योंकि उनका कोई उसमें गलती नहीं थी. उन्होंने सीता का हरण नहीं किया था। और उनकी तो अगर कोई बात कहता भी, अगर वो कहते भी, तभी रावण ने सुननी नहीं थी। तो उन्होंने they chose to fight because that was the right thing to do at that time for them, but unfortunately because they were fighting from the wrong side, they had to suffer the consequences of the decision or helplessness in this case.
Yes, Mataji. Yeah. Okay. Yes, Mataji. Thank you for sharing. Yeah.
Welcome.
Let's keep going.
Hare Krishna.
Yes.
Yes, just wanted to say, Krishna Mataji, Hare Krishna, then come to all devotees, all those who share fun. So, just like in Mahabharata, it is said, like, everybody who left their body fighting on either side in the presence of the Lord in Mahabharata, they actually attained, they got liberated because they died in the presence of the Lord. So similarly here also, it's for all the monkeys side, it is actually said they all who were so-called killed, they actually regain consciousness afterwards. For them, for everybody who's on Lord Ram's side. And my understanding would be that, please correct me, other devotee, that the other side also will still get liberated, right? Just like for Mahabharata with Lord Ram's presence.
Yeah. That's the understanding. If you killed at the hands of Lord, you will get impersonal mukti. But still, the wives are still there, and they're lamenting over the departure of their husbands, which is what is the condition of this material world. You're with your loved ones for a short period of time, and due to like Mataji said, for whatever reason, they now they are they have no maintainer, so they are sort of lamenting about that, or because of their attachments to their husbands. But yes,
Yes,
you're
Mataji.
right.
I think Nagachandra Prabhu is responding when Vidusha Mataji was mentioning that even though the other people didn't have any other choice other than supporting supporting Ravan. And at that time, I was also thinking the same thing, that choice is always there with the people. Like, for example, many of them or some of them went with Vibhishan. When Vibhishan had left, some of his associates went, those who had the similar inclination. What is that saying? Birds of the same feather flock together, something like that, right? So because the others, they had the similar tendency as Ravan, so they were not really stuck, but they were actually looking forward to the similar behavior and similar mentality, and more or less had to share the what is that? One is the basically had to share the karma. And even though they may have had some choice, but they basically were in a situation where they preferred being enemy of the Supreme Lord. So obviously they had to suffer for what they had done. And even though they may have had some negative propensity, but because they are coming towards Lord, and Lord is like all purifying, so they had their karmas got burned in a painful manner where they actually were killed. But eventually, just because they came towards Lord, they got the mercy, in the sense that their destination ultimately was much better. They they got much better destination, in the sense that liberation, in the sense. So it wasn't the highest, it wasn't like the same level of going back to Godhead in the Vaikuntha planets, but it was still a destination for which the yogis and the meditators and gyanis, they do for so many lifetimes. They strive for it, and these people are getting it because they had that contact with the Supreme Lord. So those were the points coming to my mind.
Yes, Prabhuji. Okay, let's read. I can read this one. Swan swan bandhun parishvajya, swan swan
Swan
bandhun
swan bandhun
parishvajya,
parisvajya,
lakshmaneshu bhir araditan, lakshmaneshu bhir
lakshmaneshu bhir
arditan,
arditan,
rurudu suswaram dina, rurudu
rurudu
suswaram dina,
susvaramdina,
घनन्त्या आत्मानमात्मना, घनन्त्या
ghanantya
आत्मानमात्मना,
atmanam atmana,
striking their breasts in affliction because their husbands had been killed by the arrows of Lakshman. The women embraced their respective husbands and cried piteously in voices appealing to everyone. So this is the continuation of their lamentation from the last verse. Just, the typical scene if your spouse leaves, then the extent of your sorrow because of your so much attachment to the husband. So they had been killed by arrows of Lakshman. The women embraced their respective husbands and cried very piteously, beating their breasts in very anguish, in great anguish, appealing to everyone. And this reminds me of the Gopi Geet, where the gopis are crying, but they're crying for the Supreme Lord. Rurudu iti gopya pragayantya pralapantyascha chitrada rurudu suswaram rajan krishna darshan lalasa. So उसमें वो रो रहे थे रुरुधम, परीक्षित महाराज को वो बोलते हैं सुखदेव गोस्वामी, रुरुधम सुस्वरम राजन, की गोपियां रो रही थी जोर जोर से. For what? Krishna darshan lalasa. So that is, pure devotees' attachment to the Lord. They're so attached to the Lord that they're crying for the Lord during their life. When they're chanting, they're crying for the Lord. But this is the condition you can see of somebody who's very attached to their family, to their and of course there should be attachment, but oftentimes Prabhupada, when he writes in purport, like in today only we were reading from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 13.8 to 12, very famous verses, where it says that we should not have undue attachment to the spouse, children, and family more than what is enjoined by the scriptures. And of course, very hard to practice, but this is spoken by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, and Prabhupada has also written that verse point by point. He has written 18 qualities of a devotee. In verse 10, mantra 10 of Sri Shopnishad, those same verses, 13.8 to 12, that we should not have undue attachment to the spouse or family more than what is enjoined in the scriptures. He says that multiple times. And it is very hard to practice at our level, but you can see that everybody has a fixed duration in this material world, and for one reason or other somebody may have to leave. And if you're overly attached, then you will, as we see in scriptures, many places, like when Hiranyaksh died, his wives, they were almost dysfunctional for many days. They could not carry on with their duties because they were so attached to Hiranyaksh that they were just crying over his body for days and days until Yamraj himself had to come. Yamraj aaye the, right? Prabhuji, kaisa tha? Yamraj aaye the in the form of a child?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. So itni attachment ho jati hai. If you're not attached to the Lord, if you don't have Lord in your life, you're so much attached, you will become dysfunctional to carry out your responsibility. And so one needs to be very clear. And I'm not saying any of us are at that platform or even near, but the goal is at least to know our responsibility, that the primary goal is to get attached to the Lord, so that the secondary attachments are, not so restricting that if those are broken, that we forget our prime goal. The the main goal of human life. But as you can see, it can happen. Of course, I'm not saying these ladies, Rakshasis, are attached like that. Their husbands have just died, so of course, some lamentation and expression of grief is appropriate. But I'm talking about when people become dysfunctional and not able to carry on with their spiritual or worldly responsibilities, because of so much attachment that we completely lose our faculties, and have seen that happen. So it's very, very horrible situation. That's why we should, as much as possible, try to develop our attachment to the Lord, from this minute, to cut down some of the it too much intense attachment to the family. That's all I wanted to share. Hare Krishna. Anyone wants to add to that, or? Okay. If not, we will keep going. Anyone wants to read this one? These are shorter now, shorter verses, so easier to recite. Vidushi Mataji, Rakshita Mataji, Rekha Mataji, anyone wants to recite?
I can do it, Mataji.
Yes, ma'am.
Ha ha tasma vayam natha
Ha hatasma vayam natha
loka ravana ravana
loka ravana ravana
ya yachach charanam lanka
kamyaya charanam lanka
tvadvihina paradita.
padvihina parardita.
Translation: O my Lord, O Master, you epitomized trouble for others, and therefore you were called Ravana. But now that you have been defeated, we are also defeated. For without you, the state of Lanka has been conquered by the enemy. To whom will it go for shelter? So it says, "O my Lord, O Master." Hold on. So I think this people is they are telling to him that because you brought trouble for others, and now that you're defeated, they don't know where to go for shelter. Is that what it means, Mataji?
His wife and to be दूसरी ladies, they are saying.
Oh, okay, okay.
जैसे lament कर रहे हैं तो उसको बोल रहे हैं कि you brought trouble to others, you epitomize trouble for others, that's why you're called Ravana.
Ravana. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah. So he got everybody in trouble. Just like sometimes when you light a fire in the dry grass and then it burns the whole grass. Just like that. For trouble to everyone. But one thing it is, what's I'm confused. Mandodari, she did stop Ravana. She was pleading him to return the Sita back to Sri Ram. So let's say even if she would have gone on Sri Ram's side, she still would have faced the same fate, losing a husband, right? It's just that either way she would have lost it. Staying with a husband or not staying with a husband.
क्या मतलब माताजी? I didn't understand. If he returned
मतलब
Mother Sita तो क्या?
मंदोदरी लाइक वो बोल तो रही थी कि रावण को कि आप मदर सीता को रिटर्न करो, मतलब इट्स नॉट राइट व्हाट यू डिड. बट जैसे अभी रावण के जो भाई थे विभूषण, वो तो राम के साथ चले गए. मंदोदरी तो वो प्लीड तो कर रही थी, अगर लेट्स से वो रावण को छोड़ के राम के साथ जाती तो इन ईदर केस उसका तो सिचुएशन सेम ही होता.
No,
right?
she was not gonna leave Ravan. She was pleading him to give up Mother Sita, return her back to to
Yeah.
her husband, so he would have returned her. And Lord Ram had said कि अगर वो सीता को वापस कर दे, तो I will अगर वो मुझे सरेंडर कर दे, वो मेरा शेल्टर ले ले, तो I will grant him fearlessness, मैं उसको अभयदान दूंगा। तो वो
हाँ मैं
तो खुशी खुशी रहते ना अपना जैसे रहना चाहिए धर्म
हाँ
के
तो वो तो मंदोदरी तो बोल तो रही थी, लेकिन वो सुन नहीं रहे थे ना रावण। तो
So I'll
आई
clarify
डोंट
your
नो।
question, Mataji. Yes, for Narangi Devi.
हाँ, मुझे समझ नहीं
So
आ रहा।
Narangi Devi, Lekha Mataji is saying that Mandodari told Ravan to leave, to give back Mother Sita. Okay.
हाँ,
The other option, let's say, so she told him, and then the fight happened, and he died, so he lost her husband. The other option would have been, let's say, she left Ravana and went to in the shelter of Sri Ram. So then also she would have left. She would have not had her husband with her. Either ways.
अच्छा अच्छा, ओके आई गॉट इट। अच्छा, अगर वो छोड़ के चली जाती विभीषण की तरह, ये बोल रही।
हाँ
Typically,
तो इन ईदर केस
according to Patni Dharma, she would not have left him. She was,
Yes.
according to Patni Dharma, she would not have left him. उसने अपना
So,
पति का धर्म तोड़ा है, लेकिन उन्होंने अपना पत्नी धर्म नहीं तोड़ा। So she would have
so
not
in
this
let
either
comes
him.
to
case
what Narangi
the
Devi
fate
was
would be
saying
same.
the other day.
Hmm.
So Mataji, the fate depends on your intentions again. So we have to understand that it is not about the externals; it is also about internals. So it is more important about internals than externals. That what is your what is what is the intention behind something. Mandodari actually was had always right intentions, the way it has been portrayed in Ramayana. The very devout lady and a devout wife also, but and she had always the right intentions, and she told Ravana, tried to guide him in the right sense. Now, if he doesn't follow, that is not her karma. Her karma is that she did the right thing and leave Mother Sita. It was not only just for the way it has been, what I understood by reading Ramayana. It is not just like out of envy or selfishness that she's telling. She's telling Ravana
Right,
that is not the right thing to do.
right.
अधर्म है
So,
बेसिकली,
so that's
अधर्म
yes.
प्रैक्टिस कर रहा है वो,
So
किसी की
anybody
वाइफ
who
को
even
चुरा।
speaks, we say, even for the benefit of devotees, they get pious credit. They get in the because their intentions are right. This is actually Mandodari speaking directly in favor of Lord Sri Ram. So definitely she will get better destination, better result, not just on the external side, but from the material standpoint, but also from the spiritual standpoint. That is my understanding of it.
हाँ, जैसे आपका शरीर, like आपकी physical body के हिसाब से, she was again just stuck with, not stuck, because she was a pativrata stri, so she worshipped her husband, and she would not have left him, even when he did the wrong act of stealing, चोरी करके लेकर आए थे. It's not like लड़कर लेकर आए हैं, युद्ध में जीत कर लेकर आए हैं. और ही वॉज एक्चुअली इन द स्वयंवर, जब शिव जी का धनुष तोड़ना था उसमें भी रावण ने पार्टिसिपेट किया था. तो हिज स्टोरी गोज बैक वे इन द टाइम फॉर माता सीता. Is he tried to marry her and he was defeated right then and there by Lord Rama. एंड देन वो उसके दिमाग में उस वक्त से चल रही थी ये चीज, कि भाई ओके आई लॉस्ट, सो बट अगेन somehow it got buried until Suruknakha brought it up again. तो and then it just kind of थोड़ा सा जैसे चिंगारी तो थी, वो हवा लग गई और वो भड़क गई फिर से, एंड देन उसने फिर जो किया वो आग, जैसे लाइक यू वर सेइंग, आग से आग ही लगती है, बुझती तो नहीं है. तो उन्होंने जो रावण ने एक्ट किया, चोरी करके लेकर आए. He was, I'm so sorry to say these words, these are against like something I'd never describe anybody like this, but in this sense he was a very weak man, who was who hid behind his partners, his army's strength, कि like कि वो मारीच बन गया, मृग और उसने फिर मृग ने भी उसने भी रावण को रोका था कि प्लीज डोंट डू दिस इज नॉट राइट, इट विल नॉट ब्रिंग यू एनी वैल्यू। बट अगेन अंधा हो जाता है जब हाथी ईगो में और लस्ट में, तो अंधा हो जाता है, तो वो सुनता नहीं है, देखता नहीं है, इट्स जस्ट कैरी ऑन, जस्ट जो भी होता है देखा जाएगा। बट एनीवेज ऑल दैट कृत्य falls on Ravan's shoulder. Mandodari, on the other side, physically she's married to this man and serving him wholeheartedly, the way she should be doing it. But then जो आपकी आत्मा है, मंदोदरी की आत्मा is untouched by all of this. और उसकी आत्मा को उसकी पेनेंस का उसको उसका फल मिलेगा, और मिला भी, उसको कोई पनिशमेंट नहीं मिली। हाँ, फिजिकली थोड़ी सी सेपरेशन सहनी पड़ी, बट again when you are able to see black and white, then you can also make the difference. You can also, she probably did not have regret like, oh, why did Rama kill my husband, why did he not just forgive him? Because Rama also offered, please give me my Sita back, I will leave you unharmed and everybody else in your kingdom unharmed. But he didn't listen. So again, so Mandodari had nothing to say against Rama also, because he is again Purushottam, Mahapurushottam, uh, uh, act, of noble act of Lord Rama out of his mercy. Even at that moment, he's like, okay, I will still give you one chance. Although I'm here, I will, back off. Just give me my Sita back. I will forgive you. And to that, Ravana laughed and said, oh, you're, whatever. Don't want to go into all these details, but very very true. जो जिसका कर्म है उसी के साथ उसका जाएगा। शारीरिक जो है, जितनी लाइफ है मिली है, ठीक है, उसके बाद मैं अपने रास्ते, तुम अपने रास्ते, so carry on own baggage smartly. Sorry, I went into so much.
Yes,
Thank you
Mataji,
for
thank you. Very nice. Yeah. So I think that answers your question, Mataji.
Yes, Mataji.
So the one of the things I would like to highlight from Vidushi Mataji's description of all the events. So we can see that Ravan was aware how weak he is actually. जैसे उसने चोरी किया, उसको पता था कि उस भगवान राम इतने पावरफुल हैं that he is not capable of fighting with him or defeating him. वैसे बोलता था, उनको डिराइड करता था, वनवासी है, मेरा क्या बिगाड़ लेगा, मैं तो रावण हूँ, त्रिलोक विजयी हूँ, मेरे सभी देवी देवता are under me and all this. But he had a doubt that maybe this is Narayan. So that's why he hid behind all these powerful people, right? अंगद का वो पैर नहीं हिला पाया, धनुष नहीं उठा पाया। धनुष में ऐसा हुआ था कि उसने उंगली तो डाल ली थी नीचे, पर उंगली से ज्यादा उठा नहीं पाया। उसको फिर इतने सारे लोगों ने वार्न किया अगेंस्ट कीपिंग मदर सीता। एंड एक इवन सिनेरियो ये भी आता है, आई डोंट नो इफ यू आर फेमिलियर विद दिस पास्ट टाइम, दैट हाउ ही वाज डिफीटेड बाय वाली। वाली जो अंगद के पिता हैं, जो सुग्रीव के भाई हैं, he was a chief commander of the Vanar Sena in Kishkinda. So वाली को एक बार ये गया था, रावण गया था अपना हराने के लिए। तो जब वहां पे गया तो वाली was doing his गायत्री at the time, और वाली को ने इसको पकड़ लिया, रावण को, और अपनी बगल में दबा लिया। एंड ही यूज्ड टू डू गायत्री while doing circumambulation of a पर्वत। ठीक है, ऐसे ऐसे घूमते हुए, उड़ते हुए वो गायत्री करता था। फाइनली आफ्टर पूरी डिटेल गायत्री करने के बाद जब उसने नीचे रखा, तो रावण की तो ऑलमोस्ट जान निकल चुकी थी। तो उसने बोला कि हाँ भाई, क्यों आए हो, क्यों तंग करे मुझे, क्यों आए हो? तो रावण चेंज कम्प्लीटली। ही सेड कि मैं तो तुमसे मित्रता करने आया हूँ, आई हैव कम टू एक्सटेंड हैंड ऑफ फ्रेंडशिप टू यू। हाँ, तो उन्होंने वहां पे फिर फ्रेंडशिप की थी। But even then, Ravan knew that he was defeated by just this one monkey, and this monkey has already been killed by Lord Ram, and his son has also, and Hanuman has also defeated him. तो फिर भी उसका अहंकार इतना ज्यादा था, कि उसकी लस्ट इतनी ज्यादा थी कि he was not ready to bow down. So we should really have full mastery over self. That's why we should know our strengths and weaknesses. Not that ये तो अधर्म कर रहा था, लेकिन even in general life, you know, we should know कि where our weaknesses are, and when people show you mirror, then we should try to work on those weaknesses. लेकिन जैसे भगवत गीता में भगवान बोलते हैं ना कि क्या होता है, एक चीज पे जब बहुत ज्यादा लस्ट हो जाए तो क्या होता है? Who knows that verse? ध्यायतो who knows? Amir is
ध्यायतो विषये पुंज अच्छा
Anpumsa.
okay sorry
संगात संग.
Yeah.
Please decide.
No.
Yes, ma'am.
ध्यायतो विषयान् पुंसा संगत संजायते. I forgot. And one
Yes,
more
Anshi, you want to decide?
time. You go ahead. विषयान् पुंसा संगत
When you focus too
संजायते.
much on one lusty thing, what happens?
संगत संजायते कामा कामा क्रोधो
क्रोधो
विजायते.
भिजायते. काम से क्रोध उत्पन्न होता है. एक चीज पे ध्यान लगाने से क्या होता है, उससे बहुत ज्यादा ओवर अटैचमेंट हो जाती है, और फिर उससे संग मतलब अटैचमेंट हो जाती है, और उससे काम मतलब लस्ट डेवलप होता है, और काम से क्रोध. वो लस्टी डिजायर जब फुलफिल नहीं होती, जो रावण की फुलफिल नहीं हो रही थी, क्योंकि मदर सीता वाज नॉट अलाउइंग हिम टू एक्सप्लॉइट हर, सो उससे क्रोध होता है. और फिर क्या होता है, नेक्स्ट क्या होता है? क्रोधात् भवति सम्मोहा, सम्मोहात् स्मृति विभ्रमा, स्मृति भ्रंशात् बुद्धिनाशो, बुद्धिनाशात् प्रणश्यति. उससे फिर बुद्धि का, स्मृति का नाश होता है, स्मृति से बुद्धि का नाश होता है, और फिर बुद्धि का नाश होने से व्यक्ति का फॉल डाउन हो जाता है. वी कैन सी हाउ रावण फेल डाउन लिटरली एंड spiritually and physically, in every which way. So let's stop here. We'll join tomorrow. We were able to read till verse 26 today. तो हमने यहाँ पे खत्म किया जहाँ पे मंदोदरी उसको lament कर रही हैं. Many other pastimes in Bhagavatam we see that the wives often when their evil husband dies, is defeated, is overcome by the Lord, they often remind him कि तुम ऐसे क्यों थे, तुमने ऐसे क्यों किया. जैसे कि नाग पत्नी भी ऐसे ही बोलती है कि ये तो इतना ईविल है, इसको आपके चरण कैसे मिल गए अपने सर पे. तो इसी तरीके से ये भी बोल रही हैं सारी वाइफ्स कि रावण तुमने इतना हमारे कहने के बाद भी इतना गलत काम क्यों किया, नहीं तो तुम्हारा ये हश्र नहीं होता. सो तुम्हारी वजह से अब क्या होगा हमारा और लंका का. सो दे आर lamenting like that. Okay, let's stop here. We'll try to do about 10 to 15 verses tomorrow again. And the day after is Ram Navmi, and we'll finish the chapter that day. Okay, thank you everyone for joining.
Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna
महोत्सव
Krishna.
की जय. प्रभु श्री रामचंद्र भगवान की जय.
जय
लक्ष्मण सीता
हाँ.
की जय.
Hare Krishna.
जय
जगत गुरु श्री प्रभुपाद की जय.
जय.
जय